What's going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Shoulder to Shoulder Colorado Live on the Voice of College Football Network. I'm your host, Miles, aka Miles High Buffs. You can find me on X at that exact username. If you're not catching us live today, you can catch today's show on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Believe, or wherever you're really getting your podcasts. Reminder that today's show, if you don't catch it, will be available through all podcast forms. We also do have memberships available if you feel like you want to support the show. We do have super chats if you want to be in consideration of helping our show continue to do the work that we do. And then lastly, always be sure to check out the Voice of College Football store. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back. Another episode. Just me today. Manny has some things going on. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone that is here. Coach Dre, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. I want to address quick elephant in the room, which is why we didn't have a show last week. Manny has been doing a lot of things. He's currently going through his own version of spring ball. He is a actual football coach, funny enough. So Manny has had a lot of things going on. I was actually away on vacation. So we had a little bit of a last minute kind of situation where we realized we couldn't get the show up for you guys. So I do apologize for that. That is a irregular situation. Moving forward, that will not happen again. We will always be here on Fridays at 5:30. So that's part one. Part two, something that I wanted to start off the show with because we were not here last week, is just taking a moment to talk about the very sad and unfortunate passing of CU football quarterback Dominic Ponder. Something that I have been thinking about over the last 2 weeks, ever since that news came out. And frankly, it took me so long to process that news when it came out initially because it's so unexpected, right? Like it's something that you see on the internet. And I think in today's society, we always take a moment to like, is this real? Is this, somebody coming up with something? Like we don't really know it immediate. If everything is verified news. And so once it kind of came out, we started to see it on Instagram. This wave of, I think, reality came over myself. I don't know if anybody else felt that. And it was one of those things where like everybody who's tied into the CU football community, we have this belief that football players are kind of like not real humans, right? Like they're like athletes making a lot of money, and they're just people that we're allowed to critique and make fun of or treat like superheroes. And then something like that happens, and you lose a life that is so precious, and it really brings you back to like the core of this, which is that these people are kids. These people are young men. These people are human beings that are growing up and going through life. And to have a situation like that unfold within the CU community and for Dominic's family is just so unbelievably heartbreaking. It's a weird situation that's hit home for me because I, as many of you know, as all of you know, I am a Boulder alumni. I actually, it almost like brings me to tears because there were so many nights that when I felt like lonely, leave at school and at campus, because I'm from out of state, right? So like I had a car and I would go out of state, off campus a lot, but I know the exact spot where this happened, and the amount of times that I in my SUV didn't realize the turn where this happened was coming up, and like crossed a double yellow like a couple of times and like caught myself. And I've heard other people have said the same thing. And it's like a really weird situation to see. And because like when you've been there and you know what that exact spot where this occurred. But again, I'm not trying to make this in any way about me. This is about Dom and about just how tragic it is to lose a young man of such incredible incredible character outside of the football stuff. Just like a wonderful young man who embodies all the characteristics that you want in a Colorado Buffalo and just in a person, right? Like, you heard all the quotes. I do have a couple that I grabbed here from the actual memorial service itself. Coach Sanders, Coach Prime, described him as always smiling, always happy, always loving, caring. It takes a lot, I think, sometimes for people to take a step back and realize how hard it can be to go from being the guy either in high school or at a lower level or at Bethune-Cookman or at some of these other schools that they might be at, and then to come to a school like Colorado and have to like embody this role of being somebody that is a backup, right? And that's really hard. That's a really hard situation for somebody to have to go into. And I think one of the things I was blown away by with Dom Ponder was when everything happened last season, and he sticks it out. He comes into this season early on before spring ball, and he stood up in front of everyone and was really putting his foot down about what this year was going to be. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something of like, if you're not here to work, then you might want to hit the door now. And I think it's just so admirable for somebody who is taking arguably a backseat role in like the depth chart in the positions to stand up and really fight for what he believes the culture of the Colorado Buffaloes and the university is supposed to represent. So obviously an incredible football player. I was excited about Dom's future and his career. And it's just so heartbreaking that a family loses a young man like that. And I wanted to just, again, read a couple of these quotes just in memory of Dom that came from his memorial, which was, this came from his father, when he said, when you think of Dom, you think of love. Monroe Ponder said he laughed at everything. He made jokes about everything. And if he was comfortable with you, you definitely saw his weird side, which I think we can all, relate to and empathize with. She continued by saying, if there's one thing that I know for sure, it's that he would not want us sitting around being sad forever. He would want us to celebrate him, to laugh, to tell jokes, to go outside and to live big. That's one thing. And we all have experienced loss, in our lives. And I myself have lost close friends. What I'm wearing right now is a hoodie made from I'm missing the word, a charity, a fund for a friend of mine who passed away. And I think that's one of those things. He had the same type of spirit and charisma to continue to just want to fight every day and to be somebody that you live through. And so I wanted to take this time to just remember Dom and acknowledge it, because we didn't have that show last week to talk about it. But I want to continue to commemorate Dom in some capacity here on the show throughout the season, so that we don't lose sight of what a lot of this is about and what we should be supporting as Colorado Buffaloes fans. So rest in peace to Dom Ponder. We will continue to find a way to support his legacy. There is a GoFundMe for his family. If you want to donate, you can find it online. We will share it on our page. But I wanted to make sure to take a moment to acknowledge that, because it's important. And I know that we didn't get a chance to. So I'll pause there. I'll quickly say on the lighter side of things, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it so dearly. Happy Friday. It is a beautiful Friday here in Colorado. It's been many beautiful Fridays here in Colorado. The weather has been fantastic. I'll give you guys a little glimpse into my personal life. Last week I was off heading to Phoenix, which I thought was supposed to be really warm, and I found out it was like 77. So I was like, why am I in Phoenix if it's going to be the same weather that is here in Colorado? But I got engaged. So I'm an engaged man now. I feel comfortable sharing this with the world, but like, that was why I wasn't here. And so lots of changes happening in my personal life, still doing everything I can to keep up with the Buffs and keep up with, spring ball and all the fun things that are going on here in the Colorado community. But I do want to, again, take a moment to say thank you for everybody that is here. And I'm excited to dive into some of the things that we have, seen and we've talked about and we've looked at with spring ball so far. First things first, it's my go-to saying. I'm just going to be the first things first guy. First things first. I tweeted this out the other day, but, and you probably heard it a million times, the energy in this building is like night and day. Like it is so incredible to think about. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm the biggest optimist in the world when it comes to Coach Prime and CU football, and like I'm the guy that always bets the over and all these things. But after last season, I myself took a step back and was kind of wondering, like, where do we go from here, right? Like this is a franchise changing season, right? Like this is one of those pivotal moments. I'm talking at the end of last year, where you either crumble or you find a way to bounce back. And when I tell you that I cannot begin to put into words how much of a flip this building is in right now. And it starts with the hires, right? Like Coach Marion, Coach Marv, Coach Carter, like the energy that this coaching staff, Coach Niblett, these coaches are bringing energy every single day into this building. And it is, it gets me going, right? Like I'm watching these videos and I'm just getting excited, like the joy that this team has and the way that they're empowering their players and lifting them up and encouraging them, and the way the team is coming together too. It's so intriguing and so like I'm trying not to get too, like head over my heels about this, right? Like I'm not trying to go all in and be like, we're gonna win the Big 12, but like I'm seeing so much potential that this team is putting forth on both sides of the ball, as well as just the structure and the way that they're practicing. Like even little things, the way that the players talk to the coaches, the way that they respond to adversity. It's so exciting, right? Like it's so exciting. As Danny says here in the chat, right? Like it's something is definitely going on. There's a lot that you can say about scheme changes. There's a lot you can say about personnel. There's a lot you can say about just having Coach Prime in the building. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to have players that really want to turn around the system, right? You have to have guys that come in and they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to turn around what was previously known as a struggling program, right? We had like a really down period, a slight bump. We're back up on the trajectory. Then we have this big year. And then when you have that dip back down, there's kind of this, like, a lot of people look at it and we're like, oh, the Coach Prime show is over, or like the Boulder is back to being quote unquote irrelevant. I don't think that's what this is, right? Like sometimes there's just a poor grouping of guys that come together and things don't work out the way you hope, but you get the right group of people together, you get the right coaches, you get the right year. And I can't remember if it was Coach Marion or Coach Marv or Coach Prime that said this, but one good year can change everyone's lives. Like this could be the start of something that's really brilliant that's brewing in Boulder. It's fascinating to see. I want to start with that before we get into like standouts and guys that, I've been really, really impressed by. And I want you to see before we get into it. And if any of you think that I'm not, paying attention to this stuff, this is all of the player numbers that I have written down, that I have watched. I've handwritten down offensive and defensive player numbers for guys that have made plays that I have paid attention to. Something that is positive in one way or another. I've watched every video and I've written down every number that I've seen making plays. So I've studied this, but I think it all starts at the top. I think Coach Prime said the other day, he said he feels that this is the best staff that he has assembled in his time at Boulder. And I think I agree with him, right? Like I think there's an element to hiring coaches where coaches should be the coach of their room. Like they should embody the characteristics of a head coach for their position group. And I think, I mean, Coach Marion coming from being a head coach, he has that personality. He has that respect that players respond to, right? So when they are looking at, oh gosh, this, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that the go-go system is not a complex system to have to learn, but when you look at how the players are responding to it, you can see that they respect him so much that they believe in the future roadmap for where they're going. Like there's definitely times when you looked at previous offenses, I'm not going to drop names, but previous offenses in Boulder where like there's been plays on TV in games where players have heard the play call and been like, why are we doing this? And I think Coach Marion and what he's instilling in his unit, everybody that has talked about it is so excited about it. And that's something that even when things get a little rocky, when you're down at halftime, when you're down going into the fourth quarter, like a good example of this, and I apologize, I know this is a football show, but I'm a Miami Heat fan in basketball. I know it's weird, but like when the Miami Heat went to the NBA Finals a couple years ago, all the players talked about, they were like, we just trusted each other so much that even if we went into a fourth quarter down 15, we knew that we had a chance to win any game. And I think when you get a unit of guys and a head coach and a leadership unit that people believe in, you have no doubt that you can do anything, that you can win any game. Like last year's team, it was kind of like, if we don't get out to a hot lead in the first quarter, we're probably done. Like they kind of just fold. And that was what we lost a lot, or what happened when we lost a lot. As Danny says, the frequency is higher this year, right? It's something that it is an energy in the building that people gravitate towards. I think as we have all thought was going to be the ultimate end all be all in the Coach Prime era, is that I think he wants to have position coaches that he feels like he can step back and like kind of almost be like a dad to the entire team. Like he wants to be able to be that CEO, that like higher level, like, orchestrating the entire direction, but he doesn't have to be the day-to-day guy. And looking at the way these position coaches are coaching their specific unit, the way Coach Marv connects with his team, the way Coach Marion controls the offense, I think, like, I saw a couple of clips where he's looking at the camera and he's just like, they got it, like they got it. He's the guy who stops practice and says, like, you guys you're not doing this right. Like I'm looking at it from this broad perspective and I don't see the energy in today's practice. Like when they had to restart it a couple of days ago, he can do that. He can say, he doesn't have to be involved in every single passing set. He doesn't have to be involved in coaching the DBs every single drive, but like, he's there to say like, hey guys, let's refocus, let's be there. And I think that's kind of the perfect state for him, I think, is having those position coaches who take ownership of their rooms. As Coach Dre says, Marion understands the young men and is pushing them to be great. These young men believe in each other, and the most talented team doesn't always win, but it's the team that comes together and as leaders. 100%. I'll leave that up there. One of the things, and it's been talked about plenty, is Coach Marion famously has said that he developed the go-go offense with the idea in mind that he wasn't going to have the most talented players, but he was going to have the guys, and he was going to put them in the positions to succeed at what they're best at. This is far and away the most talent Coach Marion has ever had in a single roster. And it's kind of scary to think about like what the possibilities of that are. But I think at a minimum, it's cool to see how much the players are connecting with the vision. It's kind of like when you're in like a class, like when you're in like a college class and you understand like where the teacher's trying to get you to by the end of the semester, and you start to like really click and it like the lessons start to make sense. And then by the final exam, you're like, oh, I'm I'm like locked in on this. I get this, right? And so you start to actually like pay attention a little bit more thoroughly, and you understand your role in the offense and in the actual team atmosphere overall. I'm a 49er, and I'm part of the faithful. To have faith is one thing, and to be faithful is another. It's true. There are a lot of ways that you have to instill belief in a program and have faith in what your coaches and what the entire organization of Colorado football has in store for you. Let's talk about specific names, right? So I want to go position by position. I want to break down some of the nuances and some of the things that I've seen. And then I actually, again, with my varying numbers, I tallied all these up. And so I have a breakdown of which players stood out to me the most on offense and on defense. And we'll get to that at the end. But I'm going to start with the quarterbacks, right? Most important position on the team. And a position that, frankly, I'm seeing a lot of discourse about, right? So Julian Lewis, QB1, I don't want to call him the franchise because that name has a negative connotation with it now. But like the guy that leads this team. I'm seeing a lot of online like, hey, Juju might not be the starter. Isaac Wilson's, looking really good in practice. And I want to give all the credit in the world. Isaac Wilson has walked into this unit, has walked into this offense, and has knocked it out of the park. He looks amazing. And the other part of it too is like, I think Ryan Staub always had this, he was like 80% of the way towards being a true leader. Like he didn't want to overstep when he was behind Shedeur. And then last year he like tried to when they put him in there, but then it was like he didn't do that well, and then he kind of took a step back. Like Isaac Wilson is like a guy that's I've done this. I've been a quarterback at the P4 level. I have led an offense. I have garnered the respect from athletes, and I have no problems walking in here and being like, I know how to do this. Which is good. And it is very good for Juju to feel that pressure. That is a good thing for him. That's a good thing for the program. I also want everyone to remember that the clips that they put out are clipped for a reason. I don't believe they want to show every Juju play. I don't think they want to show every time that they're quote unquote putting the ones out there and running sets that, they think might be high volume sets for them throughout the year. I personally am not going to sit here and tell you that Isaac Wilson is going to start the season over Julian Lewis. Not what I'm going to say. But what I am going to say is that it is really, 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 really valuable to have a guy who understands his role, who pushes, the people around him, and that can step in a moment's notice. And like we all know, we've all been in situations in sports where like somebody, the star gets subbed out, somebody else gets brought in off the bench, and everyone's like, oh gosh, it's not something that I'm saying is like a letdown in a lot of senses. However, it's good to have somebody that can step in immediately and then have the respect of the team. Knowing that he can do the job, and he can do the job at a high level. And again, I want to give all the credit in the world. Isaac Wilson has looked fantastic, and he's a lot more mobile than I think people are giving him credit for or have given him credit for in the past, especially in some of the RPO action, the options. He just makes smart plays. Like he makes smart plays, and he's got a good amount of touch on the ball, especially some of the routes on the outside. Like he's been dropping the ball in the bucket beautifully. But I also want you to remember that just because you're not seeing Juju as much, or you're maybe not seeing all of the incredible Juju plays, does not mean that Isaac is like getting preference to Juju, or is like, they're like pushing for him to be the starter. He's a guy that I think is going to keep Juju honest. He's going to keep him pushed. He's going to be a good example too of what being a leader is. And again, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to call out anybody from last year's team, but like, there were leadership problems last year. And I think it's important for Juju to see what it means to be a strong leader and to embody the characteristics of a quarterback that your receivers respect. With that being said, I still think Juju is far and away the guy. I don't think that there is any doubt in my mind that Julian Lewis is QB1 and that he's going to continue to be Juju1. A couple of quotes that I've read kind of scattered around about spring ball and Juju and the quarterbacks. So Juju himself said, honestly, it's been amazing. We've got a lot of guys that have the same mindset. That makes football practice a lot easier, makes bonding a lot easier when there's a lot of guys that all have the same goals. We just want to win right now. He also said on Isaac, and we'll get to Keneal Sweetwine. Isaac and Keneal, great guys, 2 Utah boys. They came in trying to adapt to Colorado. Keneal came from high school and Isaac from Utah. I love them boys like brothers already. We just lost one of our brothers recently. Rest in peace, Don Ponder. So we're trying to mold together and got to connect with them as much as we can now. Coach Prime said the first snap against Georgia Tech, he'll be coming around that mountain. I don't know why he loves that like phrase, that statement. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, who knows? Maybe they'll like make a graphic of Juju coming around the mountain on a horse or something. And then Cam Perry on Juju said, him coming off his freshman year last year, he's coming in with the keys. It's just our job to make him feel as comfortable as possible, not have no second thoughts about who he's going to throw the ball to. All 4, 5, or 6 receivers are going to have his back. That was Cam Perry who said that. I think the team understands the role that Juju plays in terms of the ceiling of where they can get to. And Isaac is somewhere that's going to, lift that floor and keep the team elevated in a way that, again, as Danny says, injuries can always happen. Having that high level backup is going to be really important. Is going to continue to be a key for this team to succeed. And then let's talk about Keneal Sweetwine, right? Like, so we have 3 QBs on the roster currently. Keneal Sweetwine does not look like a scared freshman at all. I mean, like, he looks like a guy who has his legs are fantastic. He's not a scared runner at all. Like, he's taking option runs and hitting holes. He's getting outside. He's really quick. In any other environment, like, I could see Keneal Sweetwine being a high level contributor to a team that needs a quarterback, maybe again, at maybe at like a lower level, if you want to say like a freshman starting quarterback. But as a prospect for the long-term health of this program, I think Keneal Sweetwine is like a really good guy to have. He looks like a confident athlete who can make plays and pick up on an offense really quickly. And I think this offense suits him super well. So great to see Keneal Sweetwine. I still think it's in that order: Julian, Isaac, Keneal. Like, that's where it is, where it sits. Even if Isaac is looking great and is making great plays, Juju is still the guy. That's my personal preference. That's my personal thoughts. And I would be highly, highly shocked if anything was different from that. Cool. Let's move on the list. I want to take a pause. I'm going to take a pause after every single position group and just say, thanks for being here. Happy Friday. Appreciate you guys spending time with me, talk buffs. Put it in the comments. Let me throw the chat. I'm going to throw the chat up on the stage. We're getting a lot of good comments in here. Let me know your thoughts, right? Like, I want to hear from you. Like, is Juju the guy? Are you scared that Isaac Wilson's going to take over? Like, let me know your thoughts on just all these position groups that are big. Let's move to the running backs. So running back is obviously a really key position in the go-go offense, being that it is so, run option heavy. I would say there are 2 guys. There's actually 3 guys that I think have gained the most, I guess you could say, from spring ball, being Richard Young, Kalen Taylor, and Damian Henderson. Richard Young, I'll be the first to sit here and tell you, like, I was not expecting him to be as physically imposing as he is. Like, when I looked at his numbers and I looked at his grades and his stats, like, I was, kind of seeing a similar similar to like a Dallin Hayden, who like hadn't really had too much of an opportunity, but like I don't know if he's going to reach that high level potential that he had gotten when he was coming out of high school. But man, Richard Young is a baller. Like he is a physical specimen. He is a absolutely bruising running back. And in the clips that I'm seeing, like he looks every part the 5-star build, that he had coming out of high school. And I love the clips with him being challenged by Coach Marion, and the next play he runs straight through. I think it was Jaja Boyd, runs straight through him to the house. And I love the physicality. I love in this offense, I love having a lot of versatile weapons. You have DeKalen, who is this versatile speed, I guess, outlet threat, maybe more on like screen passes, home run hitter type, like really quick, really shifty. And you have Richard Young, who is an absolute bruiser coming downhill. I think that's pretty much how Coach Mack had described him as a downhill back, which is, yeah, if he gets ahead of steam and he gets an open lane, like good luck trying to bring him down, because he is, I think he's like all 220, like full built out type of running back, which is, I mean, Simeon Price was kind of like close to that. I think he was like 200, and like an athletic 200 plus is an asset in any running back room, especially when you're trying to have multiple on the field at the same time. Someone like Richard Young, who can be a versatile blocker or be a running threat, is going to be huge. On the flip side of things, DeKalen Taylor, he is every bit as advertised, and he is every bit ready based off what we saw last season going into this year. The shiftiness, man, the ability to hit the hole and just go. Like, you can see that he learned a lot last year from Marshall Faulk, and I think is really now, like, it feels like he's kind of tuned up a lot of maybe the areas that he needed to, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like he's patient. He waits for a hole to open. And he's so fast, man. He is so quick. I think too, again, just as I mentioned, like slip screens, getting out in space. I know he had somewhere between 7 to 10 catches last year. Like as a receiving back, that's going to be really, really key, because like this go offense, man, is there are so many versatile options and ways that you can attack a defense, right? Different personnel sets, 12, 21, 22. Like there are so many different options and ways that you can use backs, that you have bruisers, you've got guys that can get open in open space on the outside. And ultimately at the end of the day, it's really nice to have that versatility. Coach Max said of DeKalen Taylor when he was on the podium, he said, DT is a humble person that I can say is hardworking, brings the juice every day. Actually, it's from Richard Young. He pushes me to be great, even though he's a bit faster than me. I try to catch up when I can. We compete, we do drills, everything like that in the weight room. And then Coach Max said, DT is pretty much all purpose. He's going to do everything. He can catch, he can run, he can give it to you however you want it. And then he goes on to talk about Michael Welch, which we'll get into. But DeKalen Taylor, Richard Young, I think are two of the biggest risers, I would say, that come out of spring ball. It's definitely really excited to see DeKalen back at full strength and taking spring ball by storm. And Richard Young just really coming in to prove himself. I think that's awesome. And I love how the coaches are empowering them to really show what they're made of. Lastly, Damian Henderson II, right? Like coming in, has the experience on the go from his last year at Sac State, was one of their leading rushers, and you can see why. Like he understands the offense, he understands where the holes are going to be, he understands where the guards are going to pull from, he understands when they have a complex scheme, like where to find that opening. He said on the offense, the go did a lot for me. The go helped me get here today. I feel like the go offense is a very good offense for running backs and receivers. It's a well-rounded offense. Everybody's going to eat, which is great. I'm glad that he acknowledges that it's so well-rounded. Like I myself and a lot of people think, oh, it's going to be super run heavy, but I think we're expecting that the running backs are going to do well. They're going to have a lot of touches. They're going to have a lot of chances. Receivers are going to be able to get open in space. They're going to have downfield options, and then the tight ends are going to be involved as well. Like Zach Ekins, if you listen to him on the podium, was I would say giddy. Like he's super excited about. It feels like getting that opportunity to be that passing threat in the offense. Two other guys I want to mention, Jaquel Smith looked great. As a freshman last year at Sac State, he had some really great numbers. He looks every bit the part. And Michael Welch, right? Like, being that guy coming back from last year, Coach Marion had said, Micah is like a little bowling ball. He's got 2 years of experience playing this level, and he's going to bring that physicality. I tweeted out the other day, but I'm like, does anybody else get a little sentimental? Like in today's college football world, right? Like it's not often that guys come in from high school, get developed, and stick around. And I remember when I found out that Michael Welch had enrolled early and was like on campus in the winter and was like in the gym and just like putting his head down and really working. And now he's, a junior, and now he's like the experienced guy in the room. And it's like, that's so cool. I love seeing Micah continue to be looked at as a valued asset within that running back room, and somebody that he's kind of like, he's got a little bit of all these different guys. He's got some speed, he's got some bruiser, he's got some downhill, he's got some catching ability. I think I could see him playing in a lot of different sets and packages. Let me really quickly, you guys, I know you're probably tired of staring at my face for this entire time. I made this little graphic. We love graphics on this show. But bam. Okay, cool. I'm hoping that works. Let me hide the chat. Kind of moving down the list here, right? So these are the 5 names that I've put up so far on the running backs. Those are the guys that I've seen. I think it's going to be a share the wealth type of system. I don't anticipate to be honest with you, I don't anticipate there being a 1,000-yard back in this year, just because there's so much talent in this room, and they all seem to like. I haven't seen any clips where I'm like, oh, you just read that wrong, right? Like you just completely hit the hole wrong, or you went the wrong direction. Like they all seem to be able to get to where they need to go and then explode through the hole beautifully. It just depends. Are you trying to run through someone? Are you trying to get a home run? Like there are a lot of different reasons to have different backs on the field, but I do think Richard Young, DeKalen Taylor, and David Henderson have shown a lot through spring ball to warrant, getting a lot of touches in the spring game and going into fall camp. Let's talk about receivers. Receivers. That is a fun. Also, wait, before I get receivers, I literally said I was going to stop every time. So thank you guys for being here. Happy Friday. If you don't know me, my name is Miles. I go by Miles High Buffs on Twitter. Give me a follow if you haven't already. But appreciate you guys being here on this wonderful, still sunny Friday, right? Daylight savings time. We still have sunshine. It's crazy. I feel like I do most of these shows in the dark. But the first player that I want to talk about is obviously Cam Perry, right? Cam Perry, I think we all knew when he was one of the first guys that committed in the offseason that he was going to be a huge component of this offense. But you can see exactly like Coach Marion's imprint all over Cam Perry. Like he is a guy that Coach Marion like knows can absolutely explode in this offense. And he knows it too. Like Cam Perry, there was that one clip where he comes up. I think he had his pass broken up by Boo. And he comes up the next time and he pushes the next, I think it was like Alex Wardy. Like he's like, Alex, give me a chance. Comes up, cooks the DB, and then immediately comes off and he's like, you can't guard me. Like he's got that confidence. He's ready to take that leap. I'm seeing a lot of hype about. I saw a list on Twitter that showed that said that he was the top 3 receiver in college football. I'm not going that far. That's a lot. But I think Cam Perry is going to ball out. He's going to show the world what he's made of. And he's like the perfect fit for this offense. He had a quote the other day. He said, this came in from Jack Carlo, had a get to know Cam Perry. Shout out Jack Carlo, does great work on the site that he publishes on, blanking right now. I think it's not Buff Stampede, but whatever. He said, you've got to be really conditioned to play in this offense. A lot of tempo, but allows us to be different, beat defenses in different ways, which is super cool, which is super great. Is the way that this team is going to get touches to different threats and different athletes is just by virtue of having so many different weapons in different areas, and that tempo giving them that quote unquote fifth quarter that they're trying to go for. And so Cam Perry is a guy that, like, I don't see you being able to really take off the field very much. Like, he's just such a versatile weapon, you know, even in some of those plays early on where he's, it's not a screen, right? But he's turning back immediately, catches it, one jab, spin, and he's gone. Versus some of the plays you see recently, like today, where he's catching an over the shoulder ball at the corner of the end zone. He's just so versatile. Like, he's a great route runner, great hands. Like, he's really going to fit in perfectly with this specific offense and with this scheme. Next one I want to talk about is Danny Scudero, right? Danny Scudero, also incredible route runner. His get off is amazing. He uses his hands super well, and timely hands too. Like, he only presents them when he needs to. He does not give a DB an inch of room to be able to, stick a hand in there. It is so beautifully fundamental that it's the duo of Cam Perry and Danny Scudero is going to be so hard for defenses to try and cover, that once this gets rolling and once this gets clicking and once Juju is that facilitator and just gets the ball where it needs to be, those guys can go for 40 or 50 on every single catch that they get, which is going to be nasty. I don't think we've had a lot of open field threats like that in the past. Like, LeJounte was really good at that. Jimmy was really good at that. Like, I see a lot of both of them, but like you could say that Jimmy and LeJounte are I don't want to say carbon copies, but like Danny and Cam are fit in that mold of just being electric and shifty and quick and also just like good kids, like really good kids. Like Danny, when he's up on the podium, he is so complimentary of Boulder and Coach Marion and Coach Prime, and he's a really good kid, and so is Cam. They just represent the CU community super well. So I'm so excited to have them on the team and excited to see what they can do this year. Another guy who has made a lot of plays, especially recently, who has gotten a little bit of has gone a little under the radar, if we're being honest, is Quanell X Farrakhan. Doing all this, I think he got some chances last year, and I think a lot of people looked at Quentin Gibson as that one of the prizes of last year's class, and I think Quanell kind of like didn't get enough love, and I will be the first to blame. Like I don't think I gave Quanell enough credit for just how polished he came into college, right? He had a little bit he had to figure out, and I don't think that the offense and that the quarterback situation helped him very much, but you can see him really confidently taking that next step, and in doing so in a crowded wide receiver room that isn't going to allow anyone to just like be handed anything, right? So when you think about, we've got Cam, we've got Danny, we've got JoJo, we've got Ernest Campbell, we've got all these different guys that are vying for touches, and now you've got Quanell, who's like, it's almost like playing with house money, right? Like, you've got this extra guy who's stepping up and is saying like, hey, don't forget about me. I was a high 4-star last year. I was a highly recruited kid out of Texas, and I can play, I can ball. So that's super cool. I love seeing Quanell really come into his own. He's tall. He is versatile. He's got really great hands. Like, everything that was coming his way the other day, I think it was Wednesday's practice, he was bringing in. Like, he is really sure-handed and athletic too. He's made some really great plays in the end zone, going up and trying to get balls over the DBs. So really great just seeing how Quanell has really come into his own and reminded people of his value as a sophomore, right? As a young guy, as a young kid. And I think he's going to learn so much from this receiving core too. Next guy, I'm going to say right now, I think this is a Caleb Mathis year. I do. I really do. Caleb Mathis. When Caleb Mathis was being thrown to by Shedeur Sanders, I can't remember the exact quote, but Shedeur had said something about Caleb Mathis being very reliable. He was a guy that he's not the most athletic. He's not the biggest kid in the room, but he runs extremely good routes. He runs probably some of the best routes on the team. And he's added an element of strength. Like I'm seeing Caleb, like he's bulked up, especially in his lower half. So like his explosiveness is a different level right now than he's had in years past. And last year he didn't get the chances that I think he wanted or that I think he deserved. But I think this is the Caleb Mathis year. I think Caleb Mathis is a guy that the quarterbacks know that they can trust. And I know that Coach Prime knows that he can trust. And it's just been a guy that has just put his head down, has developed, has learned, has studied film, and is ready for that opportunity. Like there's again, Cam and Danny, and you can say what you want about JoJo being a returner, but like everybody in this new offense is going to have to learn. And Caleb Mathis is the ultimate team guy. He is a guy that's willing to block. He's a guy that's willing to encourage his teammates. He's a guy that's willing to do whatever he needs to get on the field and to help the team win. So I'm really excited about Caleb Mathis. I think it's intriguing to see that he is stuck with it so much and that he's like finally kind of molded out into the player that I think he really can become. So shout out Caleb Mathis. I'm excited about him. I'm not going to sit here and say like Caleb Mathis is going to be a top, or a starter or a top 5 wide receiver, but like, I think this is a year you start to see a lot of, like the potential starting to come to fruition with Caleb Mathis. So shout out Caleb. I'm excited about him. 2 other names. The Ward brothers. Ward brothers are everything we thought they would be coming out of high school. Christian Ward and Alex Ward. Christian, I think, is, if I remember correctly, like 6'4", and he is every bit the 6'4" athlete that we thought he was going to be. He made a couple of great plays in one-on-one settings. He, I think he's got a little bit to shore up with his route running, but I think it's intriguing when you see freshmen making plays and not shying away from the moment. I'm super excited about Christian. Alex made a couple of plays as well, kind of later in some of the spring ball practices in week 2. So it's good to see him coming on and starting to come into his own and develop himself as a threat on the offensive side of the ball. So good to see Alex Ward, and then Ernest Campbell too. Every bit that track star speed that we thought he was going to be. Ernest Campbell has experience in the go-go, was one of their top threats last season, and is just a confident speedster. Like that's a guy that there's so much speed on the field, man. It's so scary to think about like the potential of these different sets and the ways that they're going to get guys open in space. And like, it gets my heart pumping, right? Because I'm like so excited to think about the different ways that they can use these athletes in their various personnel sets that they're gonna put in through the go-go. And if we can get all these guys various touches, like there's like guys that in the past they catch the ball and you're kind of like, okay, what are they going to do with it? And then there's other guys where you throw it their way and it's like, are they going to catch the ball? Every guy that is in this wide receiver room, I am confident is going to catch the ball, and I am confident is going to do something with it when they do. And they're going to know what they're going to do with it when they catch it, which is so great to see and so exciting. In the tight end room, right? So a couple of tight ends, we talked about it, like Zach Atkins, I think, is going to have a really big year. I think he is finally going to be seen as that passing threat in the offense that he's been looking for, and that he's really talented in. I think is the way I want to phrase that. Coach Prime said that he's an NFL draft pick. If he plays the way that, I think he's capable of, and I think this is the offense to allow him to do so, Zach Atkins is going to have a big year. And I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, but I think especially early in the season, like the tight end, especially for a young quarterback, can be such a safety net, like a calming presence to have over the middle or just in kind of dump off situations. And Zach Atkins, I think, is like so sure-handed to the point where he is going to really help Juju early on with instilling that confidence early in drives, just get it, stringing together a couple of completions, getting his feet underneath him. And I think Zach can break a couple of big ones. Like he's a physical specimen. He can bruise in the open field. And I think as a blocker too, I've seen intriguing signs. So excited about Zach Atkins. Brady Kopetz is bringing so much energy that I love. I love when guys are excited to play football and to be in Colorado and to be a part of the team. Like I think the whole scholarship thing for him and just that renowned kind of confidence from the coaching staff has really opened him up. Like it's like when you start a new job, right? And you get like that first positive feedback from your manager, and like you can see him like completely opening up and really allowing himself to be positive and uplift his teammates, which is super cool. I also have Charlie Williams and Fisher Clements on here. Charlie Williams, I've seen make a lot of great blocks, especially in 22 personnel and some of these various running situations. Just hard nosed. He's not afraid to put his helmet into a guy and really open a running lane on the outside for some of his teammates. So wanted to mention that, as well as Fisher Clements, had a little bit of a talking to from Coach Prime about taking a hit and giving it back. And that 6'7" body is no joke. He can be a vertical threat. I think he's got a little bit to work on in the blocking game, but he's a big body. So I'm excited to see how they use him. And it's nice to have so many different options in that tight end room, like coming from, we literally had Mikey Harrison being the only guy on the field, to now having 4 viable weapons plus Zane plus Corbin. Like I'm hoping I can see a little bit more out of Zane and Corbin coming into year 2 as high 3 stars from last year. I'm hoping to see a little bit more out of them, but I think you have 6 viable options that you can put on the field, and like at least 4 be confident in, and 6 that I'm like hoping can really develop into solid tight ends for this go-go offense, which is super cool. On the O-line, first one stood out to a bunch of people, is big old Chauncey Gooden, right? I will be the first to say I will first be a Chauncey Gooden apologist. When I did my depth chart, I said I did not think that Chauncey Gooden would step in year 2 and without much experience and take over. But like, man, he's a confident son of a gun. He is mean. He is nasty. He is a mauler. He's too big for his jersey. If you saw that clip with Coach Prime, he is a mauler on the inside. So super excited about Chauncey. I think I could see him slotting in at that right guard spot, which is super cool. Bo Hughley was given a lot of praise for his leadership, which is super great. I think he's holding down that left tackle spot. A lot of potential, similar to Richard Young, SEC experience with not a whole lot of direct game experience or just like given an opportunity to really thrive. So I think this is, hearing that he came in and has been a leadership presence is super exciting and super enticing. So I'm excited about Bo Hughley. I think he's probably at this point a high likely for your left tackle. I've seen good plays out of Taj White and Larry Johnson too, both on the interior, Taj White being more left guard, Larry Johnson being more right guard. I'm glad they moved Larry Johnson inside, both of them have been more athletic and more versatile than I thought they would be. And in some of these pulling situations and various blocking schemes that they're running as part of the go-go, I'm just seeing them, drive through blocks to the second level and really just get a lot of leverage underneath some of our kind of bigger, like under Samu and under some of those bigger defensive linemen, the Emil Talib and some of the bigger guys that we have on the interior. So that's been super exciting to see. Yaya is taking on some leadership. He looks good too. I haven't seen a whole lot of concerning signs from him. He looks like he's developing super well and is confident in himself in the process. Sean Kinney and Demetrius Hunter. A lot of people have talked about Demetrius Hunter as being like the de facto center. I've seen great plays out of Sean Kinney. I really have. I've seen him holding down at the center position really well. He's getting to that second level, and he's consistent in pass pro, which is really nice to see. Demetrius Hunter is more of a mauler, I would say, and maybe more versatile in terms of just like the go-go system overall. But I think having Sean Kinney as a rotation center or a rotation player on the line is good to have. Like, he's not somebody that I'm like concerned about, which is good. There were times last year where it was like, if Zarian McGill went down, I was concerned who was going to play center. But I think Sean Kinney has shown a lot to be able to be worthy of minutes, and it's good to see. And then Jose Soto looks good. I mean, like, I saw him a couple of times. He clearly has a really good grasp on the interior offensive line for this for the go-go. It's nice to have a guy who's played it before being able to teach it to the guys that are new to it. And I think Jose Soto did really well in run block situations, and it shows. He stood out to me a couple of times in various inside runs, inside zones, being more, I think, on that right side of the line. So him and Chauncey, I think, could be solid assets. There's probably a solid 7 to 8 guys on the offensive line that I feel objectively comfortable with. Like, I think last year we walked in and we had 5 guys across the line, and then it was like, I don't really know who we're going to rotate in after that. This year, I'm not even mentioning like a Phillip Houston, who I haven't seen a whole lot from. I'm not sure if he's still rehabbing, or Kareem Harden. I'm pretty sure he still has eligibility. But a couple other guys that, like, it's good to see at least 8 guys who are making plays and are not blowing assignments right off the bat. Cool. I'm going to pause. We are 57 minutes in. Happy Friday. I'll say it again. Thank you for being here. If you are still here watching live, either on X, on YouTube, on anywhere that this is being posted, like, comment, subscribe. Please hang out with me. It's a live show on a Friday, and I'm hoping that I can do my best for you guys to keep this show entertaining. And so I'm on X, Miles High Buffs. Give me a follow. It'd be really appreciated. If you give the show a like, it helps to support the work that we do. It helps to support the channel. It keeps my bosses happy in terms of keeping this show going. So appreciate you guys for being here. And oh wow, very zoomed in on me. Let's take a moment. I'm going to switch over to the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, if you feel inclined, like, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's talk defense. Before I fully get into defense and standouts, I want to say, like, every video that I've been watching, I'm like, I go back and forth where I'm like, damn, this offense is unstoppable. And then I go to clips on defense and I like rewatched it and I'm like, damn, this defense looks really very, very versatile. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Let's start with the defensive end room. Manny Eziogu looks every part as athletic as we thought he was, right? So there were some things that came out about his 40 time and his vertical and like all these ways that he had been before we actually got on the field, had been dominating some of the quantifiable metrics. And Manny is putting it together. He is slippery. He is shifty off the edge. He is quick. He is really quick. And he is able to, bulldoze some of those bigger outside linemen. Cam, what's good? Good to see you. Happy Friday. Manny is every bit as explosive as I thought he would be, which is really good to see. He's also relentless. Like, he's not giving up. Like, there was a couple of times where I put his number down 3 times in a row, because there was 3 plays where I was like, damn, he's cooking them on the outside. Toby looks great too. He's making plays. He's getting to the quarterback. Lamont Lester looks good. I've seen him on the edge. Balansama Kamara, and then Kylan Salter. I'm so glad that they put him at the edge, because he feels like he is coming into his own on that edge position. He's got such an NFL body that I think he's going to be a huge disruptor. So I do think that perhaps the top end talent on the edge is not as high as it was last year, but they have relentless 3 down edges that are going to keep coming at the quarterback. Like, we're going to end up earning the ability to rush on 3rd down, and those guys are hungry to do it, and they are capable of getting there, which is super exciting to see. I lost. I did. Okay, it's on the other side. Oh, I have it. My bad. I put defensive end and then defensive line on the other side. I'm going to go down the quarterbacks either way. The other guy I'm stamping, big ol' stamp, miles high buffs of approval. Nathan Mitchell is a monster, an absolute dog, to say the least, man. He is like, wow. Like, he jumps routes. He delivers hits. He's like there every single time, even though we're not like fully tackling every time, but like, he's just all over the field, man. Like, Nathan Mitchell, I'm pretty sure he was New Mexico State's leading tackler last season. And you can see why. Like, he understands football to a T, and he's smart and he's disciplined. And couple of shows ago, somebody had asked me during the Q&A, like, who's going to lead the team in picks. And I think I might have to switch my answer to Nate Mitchell. Like, that's a jersey I could want to get. Like, that's a guy that, is just so versatile. And I'm so excited to see what he does from that safety position. Boo Carter showing out. I'm just going to keep saying Boo Carter over and over again. Also, just like a sick jersey. The Carter 6 is so cool. That's probably going to be my next one I got to get. I love what I'm seeing out of Boo Carter, right? So, like, early season conditioning, Swayze, he's puking in buckets and his team's lifting up. And, like, admittedly, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh gosh, like, is Boo Carter like coming along? Is he, excited to be here? Are we going to, is he going to want to be really locked in? And, like, you're seeing Boo Carter, right? You're seeing everything that Boo Carter has to offer, which is so exciting. Von Bell said something along the lines of Boo Carter was one of the most talented players he's ever been around, which for a guy that played in the NFL for many years is a compliment beyond compliments. Like, everybody, my friends at DNVR was talking about whether or not Boo Carter was the most talented buff since Travis Hunter. And I mean, I don't want to say, I'm not going to give like a definitive right now, but like, he's just so versatile, and like, seeing him make plays on offense and just he gets football, man. He gets like football is Boo Carter. Like, he's one of those guys that just like, he just understands it and he lives it, and it just comes innately to him, Nathan Mitchell, innately. But it's kind of like watching, if you guys keep up with college basketball, like, it's kind of like watching Darren Peterson play basketball. Patterson, the Kansas guard. He, like, some guys just have sports that come to them effortlessly, and Boo Carter's that type of guy. Football comes to him so naturally, and when he really puts it all together and like realizes what he can do for himself in his future, I mean, like, he probably won't be at Boulder past another year if he can put it all together, because that is a guy that, like, I see Colton Hood levels of defensive ability with him. Maybe not always like directly locked in on coverage the way Colton was, but just that like if Preston Hodge and Colton Hood and like Travis to an extent, like I'm not going to say he's Travis levels of coverage, but like Boo Carter just has so much talent, and it's so much versatile talent that I love to see it. It's awesome. Jaden Hardy is making plays, which is really good to see. I was a little bit bullish on him coming out of Oklahoma just because he didn't play. Or bullish, bearish. I always forget which one it is. I was a little under excited about Jaden Hardy when he came over because he just didn't have too much production at Oklahoma, but he looks super confident, and he's making plays. He is not afraid to hit somebody, which is super good to see. And I think he's going to be a really big asset in that safeties room, and as a defensive back overall. Cree Thomas looks every bit the part that you would expect from a Notre Dame transfer corner, right? Like he my favorite part about it is there's a clip where Coach Prime is in his face chewing him out, and he's looking him dead in the eye, and yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Like he wants to learn, he wants to develop, he wants to be the best. It is he's also got really good aura. I don't know how to explain it. Like his on-field swag is like next level. He's looks sick. I love the 20. It's awesome. So Cree Thomas looks great. Mo Williams Jr., Mojo, the freshman, is also making plays. Came on a little bit later in spring balls and has been confidently rising. Like you can see that I think he got his feet under him a little bit, and he's another one of those guys that like I look back on my numbers and I had his number down like 3 times in the span of 10 numbers, right? Like he just had back-to-back plays where it like feels like a guy that like when he gets hot, he's gonna really click. Reminds me a little bit of Jaden Milner-Jones from a couple years ago. Like comes on late in his freshman season and starts making plays. And I think if they can continue to develop him and he sticks around, that's a 3-star that you hit on, right? That's like an underrated guy that I honestly like at times forgot was a part of that class, but like he's not going to allow us to forget him or not remember him moving forward. He's a name. He's going to remember that name. I love the Mo Williams 25 basketball reference. I'm a big Mo Williams fan growing up, so loving that. Braylon Edwards, Cam, I'm going to get to your comment here. Braylon Edwards wants to hit somebody as hard as he can. He has his own language or own version of the Legion of Boom. Absolutely, man. Like these freshmen, man, are coming in and are just him, Preston Ashley, Mo Williams. They are coming in and they're not scared at all. Like these are guys that are coming in and they want to play. They want to make a difference. They want to hit. And they want to learn from the best. They want to learn from Coach Prime. And it's so exciting to see. And I like, a cornerback was one of those positions that I was a little bit hesitant on at first. I didn't put his name on there, but Jason Stokes, I've seen make a couple of plays. Jaja Boyd has been on the field and is working. I'm having a little bit of hard time with separating Jaja Boyd from the Richard Young play, but like there's a lot of young, versatile defensive backs that are in this cornerback room, and it's really excited to see. I put CB, but I think obviously Nate Mitchell, Boo Carter, Jaden, it should be DB. I apologize. I had to scramble with this graphic like super last minute, so I do apologize. In the linebacker room, oh God, it is so good to see well-rounded, smart linebackers on the field for the Buffs, man. It is I like those guys know how to play the linebacker position. They're getting coached the hell out of by Chris Marv. And they like, and I'm seeing Coach Hart, he's obviously coaching, but he's also like, I think Marv has a little bit more hands-on with that position too. So it's like you get 2 coaches on that spot, which is really important and really good. Taro Martinez is making plays. Leona's making plays. Freshman Ronnie Colton Jr. is a monster. Like that kid is massive. And he is, I think when he shores up, like gets his like feet underneath him and like shores up some of the movement stuff, and becomes maybe a little bit more of a coverage guy. I think I could see him being a real contributor, but like all these guys, man, I'm in this point where, and I know it's early. Don't clown me for it being early, but I'm really hoping we can keep these guys around. I am like the Creed Thomas, the Mo Williams, the Braylon Edwards, the Rodney Coltons, like the guys that came in from this freshman class, or maybe not freshman class, but just like the young transfers and the freshman class. I'm really hoping they stick around because I just want them to, I want them to prosper. I want them to be busts for years. Like I want to see Creed Thomas. I want to see the senior version of Creed Thomas. I want to see what the senior version of Rodney Colton Jr. is. Like, I hope that this year goes so well that they want to expand on it and that we are building something in Boulder. And I saw plays out of Bo Penna. I saw Gage Goldberg. Somebody asked me if Gage Goldberg was going to be a contributor last time we were on, and I said I wasn't sure, but I did see Gage Goldberg, make a couple of plays and was out there on the field. So I hope that you don't have to rely too much on some of the younger guys, but I'm also super excited about the top end talent that we have in that room. And I think if Gideon and Tyler and Leona can stay healthy, not only is that going to be such a good unit, like that top three type of trio, but also they're such good mentors and role models for the Rodney, the Carson, and the Colby of the next generation that I'm like, yes, please let me have that development for the next couple of seasons with here in Boulder. Again, defensive line, there's a couple of repeats in there, and I do apologize. Dylan Manuel, friend of the show, Dylan Manuel. Making plays. Love seeing that. Big 99. Love big defensive lineman in the number 99. I think it's so sick. So good to see him. Really just clogging gaps, causing havoc in the middle. I think there's some technique stuff to work through there. I think if you guys have been watching, like Dante Carter is coaching his ass off and he is loud and he is excited and he's yelling sack every single time that his guys get to the ball. And you can see why Coach Prime believes in him. And like, yes, I get it. Like, it's not always about yelling, but it's yelling with the right group and at the right time. Like certain guys respond super well to that. And it's kind of like fun, like just watching Dante Carter, like run around and like jump up and down and get so excited with his guys. And like, he like borderline tackled Samu the other day. And like every time that they make a play, he's like all over them and so excited. So I'm just so excited. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Coach Pecco and his like mild, quiet nature was like a better or worse way to coach a defensive line room. But I do think that the guys that we have in the room now are responding super well to the way Dante Carter is coaching them up. Coach Hilo on the defensive edge. Like I think it's a better overall unit that they have going currently. And I'm excited to see how this room develops. Some other names I wanted to mention. Billy, I didn't realize he was 260. He's kind of playing that hybrid, not fully an edge, not fully inside. But I've seen his name or his number pop up a bunch. Side note, I get the whole social media handles thing, but like, I just wish there were last names on the jersey because every time I have to look and like re-reference what number somebody is, it's hard for me. And I can't always read like what the social media handle is. I'm like, either way, it's not my call to make. Balan Samakamara is making plays. Samu's making plays. Yamil Talib's making plays. Ezra, Santana, Quincy Wiggins, I'm seeing good things out of off the edge. And then I already mentioned Kylan Salter. Again, apologies for the repeats, but Samu is as big as they advertise. There's a couple of plays where Samu and Yamil Talib were back to back getting to the quarterback, which is super, super good to see. I don't know if they're going to run that 3-4. I don't know if they're going to. I personally, with the personnel, think it's more of a 4-3, but like. I think you have three good linebackers and you got a couple of, I don't really know if I trust Samu as your main nose tackle right now. I think Ezra and Santana in the middle. Maybe you put Dylan there. Maybe you look somewhere else. But I'm seeing positive signs out of these guys, and I'm excited about the development that they're getting and just the way that they are attacking the ball. in the way that Coach Carter is really coaching them up. Okay, cool. Let's take a step back. We are almost at the hour-and-a-half mark. Happy Friday. Thank you guys for being here. I got a fun thing for you. For everyone who didn't hear it in the front end. These are all the numbers that I wrote down, offense and defense, of players that I watched from the videos to figure out who was making plays and who I liked the most and who was impacting the game in one way or another. I know it's spring ball. I know it's practice. I know it's dumb. But I took numbers. I looked at it, and I did it, and I tried to figure out who I thought was making the most plays. And we're going to get to that at the very end here. I want to talk about some coaches. A lot of people were upset or confused or questioning Coach Marv and just the Coach Livingston situation and like having him step in and all that stuff. I'm excited about Coach Marv, man. Like I'm excited about the energy that he brings and the way he's like, it's not easy to be like thrust into that position immediately and like a week before spring ball and have to just like be like, hey, I'm your coach now and like listen to me. But Von Bell said this about Coach Marv. I wanted to touch on it. Fiery, passionate, very detailed. I've seen some coaches like that, and just makes me inspired to be a better version of myself. How detailed we are every day with the meetings, film breakdown, and the gray sheets, all the types of stuff that we have. We have an open discussion with the defensive staff, and it's just the dudes love it. I think Chris Marv is the perfect I don't want to say like sidekick because it's not sidekick, like side comparison to Coach Marion. Like Coach Marion has a specific way of coaching offense and Coach Marv has a specific way of coaching defense. And I feel like both of these units need those personalities. I feel like Coach Marv, and I said it the last time we talked about it, was perfect for teaching this defensive unit to understand how to play from the middle of the linebacker, or the middle of the defense, with the linebackers being that primary communicator, the center, the heart of the defense, and having the other sides like the DBs and the defensive line trust in each other, right? Like here's your heart, here's your middle, here's your communicator, and let's make sure that the whole defense understands how important their roles are in merging with that, as opposed to Coach Livingston had a little bit more of a relationship with some of the DBs and the safeties and was able to communicate with them a little bit better. Coach Marv, I feel like, is connecting really well with everybody. And I think his passion and his fire, and like another thing I had said before was having him, like if you've ever been in a position where you were like let go from something or fired or just, I don't know, broken up with, or like just put in a position where you were told like you aren't good enough. The next time you get an opportunity at something, you kind of have this, like, if you have a lot of like self-respect, you get into this position where you're like, I want to prove that I'm not that guy. And it feels like Chris Marv is taking this opportunity and saying, that's not me. The whole Virginia Tech getting fired thing and like the numbers that came out from that. I feel like he's looking at it and is like, no, like Coach Prime trusts me for a reason. I'm a guy. I'm a coach. I'm a kick-ass defensive coordinator, and I'm gonna lead this unit to be as successful as possible. I also, again, just think that this, same with Coach Marion, I think this is the most talent that Chris Marv has had in his career on a single defensive unit. So, Von Bell also said he brings that energy every day. That's the type of guy I am too. He's fiery. He's a former player as well, so he understands and he gets it. I'm glad to come into work every day. The other part of it, the scheme part of it, that's interesting. This came in from Cam Perry. Said I get mad at him because they don't play a lot of man coverage. Which, for all of you that were not fans of Coach Livingston and how much he played man coverage, you're getting your wish. Like apparently they are not running a lot of man coverage. You can't see it every time in the well-off videos, but more zone, more schemes. And if you're frustrating Cam Perry, imagine what you're going to frustrate the second string wide receiver on Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? Like if you're frustrating Cam Perry, it's going to frustrate the hell out of some of these other guys that aren't as good as Cam Perry. He went on to say, I'd be getting a little frustrated, but he brings a lot of confidence to our defense. You can see it out there at practice already. They're flying around, making plays, stripping the ball out. It's something to love to see on the offensive side, knowing that our defense is going to go out there and make a play. I know he's going to get those guys right. He's already making those guys right. That defense is going to be something crazy. And again, that's coming from Cam Perry. Like when one of your top offensive players looks at your defense and is like, remember when, again, basketball guy, when LeBron in the finals against the Spurs saw Kawhi check into the game and it was like, fuck. Like when you have Cam Perry looking at the defense and going like, God damn it. Like, you know, like he knows that they are flying around and that they're someone that's difficult to go against. That shows something. Great call out by Cam too. You know, we don't even have Quentin Gibson. We don't have JoJo or DeAndre Moore out there. I keep forgetting that too. Like, here's my thing, man. Like, if you just threw out there Cam Perry, Danny Scudero, and Ernest Campbell, I still think that that's an incredible wide receiver room. And then you have Quentin Gibson. You could put Quanell in there too. You put Quentin Gibson, JoJo, and DeAndre Moore. That's a whole starting unit in and of itself, and that we don't even have on the field yet, which is so incredibly cool to see. I'm like, it hurts my brain to try to figure out how Coach Marion is going to like get all these guys touches. If I'm like whenever I play college football 26, like I got obviously a dynasty where I have like so many good players on there. And I'm like, I get sad when I'm like, I don't get this guy enough touches. I'm scared for CU football. Cause I'm like, I would be totally cool if you gave me JoJo Williams and like, let's just say that like this offseason didn't go the way we wanted. And it was JoJo Williams and like a bunch of guys that, you know, barely played at their other stops. I'd be like, cool, it's the JoJo Williams show. Let's go for it. But like, then you get Cam Perry, then you get Danny. And it's like, okay, now we're building a core. Then you get DeAndre, then you get Ernest, then Quanell is developing. Now this is maybe the Caleb Mathis year. Like you have so many different guys that are going to be vying for touches and responsibility, and that everybody's going to have to earn their role, that it's just like, man, I want to get to fall. I don't want spring ball to go away. I want this team to get on the field. And it's so exciting just to see how much talent they brought in and the ways that we were able to replace what we lost last season as well. Darren, just for your sake too, we did cover that a little bit earlier in the show. We went through position by position. I'll throw the chat back up here for the sake of it. But feel free at the end of this to go back and rewatch earlier in the show. We went through every position group and some of the standouts. I did say that Henderson was doing super well. So we talked about Coach Marion. We talked about Coach Marv. Wanted to touch on Johnny Mack a little bit. Running backs have been looking really good, and just read a quick quote from him. Johnny Mack said, "I told my guys, if you're not excited for this, I don't know what else to tell you, man. This go-go offense is built for running backs. It's built for running backs to have success, having an opportunity to be 21 personnel. You get the opportunity to get multiple guys out there, giving multiple opportunities. It's just an excitement, utilizing it in so many different ways, from catching the ball out of the backfield to running the ball, being able to utilize all the ability that we have." And that's the key. That's the difference. If you're not excited about this, if you're not, eager to watch these buffs, I'm going to sit here and tell you honestly, like the back half of last season, man, was depressing. It just was. Like going to those games, like there was a couple of times, I'm a lifer, I'm a diehard. I try to go to every single game and I was in the shirt waving crowd when we were losing to Arizona or Arizona State, whichever the one where we had the t-shirt crowd. I was there. I was in that. And I was like sad while I was doing it, because you don't want your team to be in that position. Point being, I'm like so excited to get back. I'm so excited because I want to show the college football world that the Buffs aren't what we were last year. And I feel like this team is coming together and that the coach has got the perfect system in place to be able to allow them to succeed, and the units trust each other. And it's like last year there was this competition of like everybody kind of felt like they were against each other and there's no leadership. And now everybody's is jiving, and they trust each other and they believe in each other, and they're doing it for Dom. Like that's that thing that I think they feel in their heart, is that, rest in peace, Dom Ponder. But that, they have a purpose behind their goals. And to go out there every day and to be excited to play football and to be representing the Colorado football community in a way that Dom and his family would want them to. And so it's beautiful to see. I'm so beyond excited. Let's talk about this fun little spreadsheet that I made, right? So again, I'm going to say it for the third time. I did it. I sat down, I wrote the numbers down. I wrote it every time that I saw something or a number where I was like, wow, that player did X, Y, and Z that was good, right? So whether it was a block that opened up a running lane, whether it was a good catch, whether or not it was a good read by a quarterback, whether or not it was a defensive lineman plugging a gap. I tried to get everyone I could. I'm not going to share my screen because it's just a spreadsheet. I can if you guys want me to, but first one first. I'm going to start with offense. Number 14 came up the most. And that's hard. Hold on. Let me explain. Number 14 came up the most because there's two 14s. Quanell and Keneal Sweetwine are both number 14. And I didn't realize it until after the fact. So that is number 1 to 15 times I saw the number 14 make a play. So that could be Keneal, that could have been Quanell. Okay. Next one that I saw was DeKalen Taylor. I had 9 times that I saw DeKalen Taylor, and this is over 4 videos that I watched on Well Off. So I didn't watch multiple videos from different angles because I don't want to create scenarios where I'm redoing the same number from the same play. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying? So DeKalen Taylor is next. The next one I saw was Caleb Mathis. I saw Caleb Mathis 9 different times making a play. Just open in space, good hands, there when you need him, making a play. Next on the list was Danny Scudero. Had 7 times where I saw him make a play. Isaac Wilson, number 16, 6 times. Damian Henderson, 6 times. Chauncey Gooden, Ernest Campbell, Cam Perry, Richard Young, all with 5 times. Zach Atkins, Juju Lewis, Alex Ward, Sean Kinney, all with 4 times. Oh, and Jaquil Smith, 4 times. Hakeem Williams, Demetrius Hunter, Bryce Hicks, Corbin Leisure, Larry Johnson, Taj White, all with 3 times. Taggart Barton, Yaya, Javon McFadden, and Boo Carter on offense, all with 2 times. And then Jose Soto, Xavier Payne, Phillip Houston, Joseph Williams, Leon Bell, Titus Bautista, and Fisher Clements all had 1 time. So just again, I'll share it for the sake of you guys can see it. And then that way I'm not BSing you. This is my list. This pulls directly again from all of these numbers that I did manually by looking at this report. That's what I saw. Those are the guys that stood out the most to me. Some combination of Quanell, DeKalen Taylor, Caleb Mathis. I ran it. I did it. I looked at it. On the inverse, this is defense. Leading the list was Boo Carter, which is unsurprising to me. Boo Carter was making plays the entire time in all 4 videos that I watched. Then you got Manny Eziogu 6 times, Mojo Williams 5 times, Nate Mitchell 4 times. Probably could have been way more there, but I looked mostly at his interceptions. Gideon Lamprin, Cree Thomas, Justin Eaglin, Tyler Martinez, Toby, Lamont Lester, Dylan Manuel, Leona, Villy, Jaja, all these guys getting 4. Preston Ashley, Balansama, Samu, Rando, Makari, Jaden Hardy, Braden Lindwards, Donovan Stevens, Rodney Colton, Yamil, Santana, RJ, all having a couple of times. Quincy Wiggins, Paul Modia, Bo LaPena, Gage Goldberg, Emery Floyd, Kylan Salter. I want to say, this is not a science. This is just me looking at it over the course of 4.5 hours of me just replaying these videos on a half speed, watching it, trying to find everyone I can. I can't look at everything. I don't have an all 22. So I'm looking at just plays where I could see guys doing something positive, either for their teammates or for the team overall. With that being said, again, validates a little bit of what I've been saying. Boo Carter, Manny Eziogu, Nate Mitchell, Gideon Lamprin, Mojo Williams, Cree Thomas. Like, these are all guys that I expect to be high contributors this season, and are all guys that I think have been making significant plays throughout spring ball. So that's how I looked at it. That's how I've seen it. I'm super excited about Boo. I'm super excited about DeKalen, Quanell, Danny, Isaac Wilson, JoJo Williams, Damian Henderson. Like these guys they're doing super well, and I'm super happy about it. If you look at any of spring ball and you try to make it like oh my gosh, Juju's not getting the reps, or like, wow, there's a clip that came out where I think Mo Williams says something about like, oh, that's a guy, and he's talking about Isaac Wilson. Please don't read into this stuff. Like it's spring ball. If it would be worse if they were like, Juju, isn't ready, or like somebody was like, oh my God, Juju throwing picks every left and right. Like that's something you could probably point to. But the team encouraging each other is not a thing that we should be like trying to drag on, or like it's not something that we should be trying to dunk on or anything of that nature. Just be excited, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is just be excited. This is all good stuff. This is all good things. And I'm just really excited about how these coaches are getting the team together, how this offense looks, how the scheme looks, how well the scheme fits the personnel is kind of where I'm trying to get to here. And I'm excited about the youth. I'm excited about the talent. Like, there was a lot of times where there was like last year, the famous Buffs thing is like, where is X? Where is Micah? Where is Cormani? Like that whole thing. I think the guys that you're not seeing are injured, and everyone else is there, and they're happy and they're joyous and they're excited to be in the program. And like, I'm super excited. With that being said, it is 7:00 and I've been going for an hour and a half now. So I want to say thank you so much for being here. Happy Friday. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Please do, if you enjoyed the show, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought. As a little bit of an announcement, it's mostly going to be me moving forward. Manny has priorities with his job and with football that he has got going on. We will see him as he becomes available and he wants to join in on the show, but it's mostly going to be me. I hope you guys don't hate me at this point. I'm hoping that I'm providing good content for you. Please let me know, like, if you have show ideas as spring ball wraps up and we get into some of that dead off season. I got some ideas of things that I want to do for you guys to keep the show entertaining and lively. But let me know if you have, like, I want this to be your guys' show. I want you guys to, I'll do the research. You let me know what you want me to talk about. So, thank you again for being here. Happy Friday. Appreciate everyone for locking in. If you didn't get a chance to watch the show before, go back and rewatch it on YouTube, Spotify. It's all there. And I'm going to let you go. And I know Manny would kill me if I didn't do this. So Sko Buffs, baby. Appreciate you guys. Happy Friday, Sko Buffs. And we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.